Mega Dads Live is a mature-rated podcast. It's for the Mega Dads, the Mega Moms, but not the Mega Kids. So put on those earmuffs and let's go!
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another exciting episode of Mega Dads Live. I'm your host today, Antonio, aka Hypecaster, joined by my co-host, Clay, the big one, Howard. How you doing, Clay?
I'm doing good. Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday. Recording on a Saturday feels good. I feel like my lungs are full of Saturday air.
Yes, I love that air.
I love getting up early on a Saturday. Like during the week, like getting up early is like terrible. But for some reason on a Saturday, when you don't have those obligations, you're just like, oh yeah, I could get up early. I'm not bothered by this. I'm not going to work. So it's great.
Yeah.
We are filling in for Adam. Adam is on a special assignment in Bora Bora, and he will be back soon. We are taking the reins, and we have promised one of the most exciting off-the-rails episodes of Mega Dads Live ever. We're going to be talking about a very special game later today, but first, we want to get to know you, because Clay, you fill in on MDL. You're not on all the time. It's a special occasion. I should be wearing my tails, okay, my finest set of clogs for this special occasion. Break out the caviar, okay? So, get to know you question here. Nintendo is in the news. Have you heard about this Switch 2 thing?
I've definitely heard about the Switch 2 thing. Yes, that has come across my desk a couple times.
Yeah, I saw it come across the feed, the live feed. We want to know about your relationship with Nintendo. So rapid fire, a couple things, okay? The best Nintendo console so far has been fill in the blank. Don't hesitate.
Nintendo 64.
Oh, he went with the right choice. I would be a dead ringer between N64 and SNES, like, quite honestly.
It's a hard one. Those both solid options for sure.
You're a huge Nintendo fan. I think the biggest question coming out of the Switch 2 reveal was like launch lineup. Are you satisfied with the launch lineup the way it stands? We have some heavy hitters. You got the DK, you got Mario Kart World. Or are you satisfied with the launch lineup? Don't hesitate.
I think the launch lineup has everything to do with how good the single player of Mario Kart World is. Once we see this direct coming up, it sounds like they've held on to some things that maybe are going to make the game better for some of us who maybe won't be playing online or multiplayer all the time. It's like, I need a good single player experience for this game. So as long as that delivers, I think that there'll be plenty to do. Also depends how long we have to wait for Metroid. If they can somehow make that a launch title, I think that would be an A+ launch. If we have to wait for a while, it could be maybe not as great. But I had a really good time unlocking everything in Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U when it first came out. And so I remember having a good like first week of it where it wasn't just like only playing with other people made it fun, but there was actually stuff to do. And I remember trying to like unlock all the courses and like gold trophy or like silver trophy, whatever it was, like get the best trophy you can for each set so that you can unlock the new modes and the golden cart and all this stuff. And so it sounds like they're trying to make that even better this year, and there's going to be like explorable things that you can find. So if that gives me something to do, I think we'll be in good shape. But I'm excited. I just got to get till July when Donkey Kong comes out. So I just need some stuff to occupy me for like a month, and then I'll be set for the summer, I would think.
You bring up like such great points, and the lineup and like the value of it. It's interesting. I was looking back at like this grand strategy that Nintendo had of like, guess what? Here's Switch 2. You know, we're not going to tell you about the specs though, and not the price. And then here's Mario Kart World, and it's like, oh, find out later the price. Then we're going to have a breakout direct focused on the game to explain, you know, why the value is there, because that's their whole proposition. It's like, it's worth 80. It's worth 80 because we say it's worth 80, and now we'll explain, you know. So if they come out of this direct and the consensus is like, dang, they do have a packed single player, you know, actually they are saying that they're not going to have like this, you're going to get like whatever additional courses and features over time, and they're not going to do a paid DLC pack. Like it's included. We could be looking at this whole rollout as like a genius move, kind of. What if they win people over and they're like, we were going to tell you, we were gonna lay out why Mario Kart World. Well, that's excellent. Yeah, I'm excited. Final question, get to know you, because I know you're a Nintendo addict, but are you a Nintendo fiend? What is the maximum amount you would pay for a Switch? We know it's going to be base $450. I think you mentioned that you're going to go for the bundle, so we could start there. For the $500 bundle, because there's a lot of ifs, but would you pay either a scalper or a tariff increase price over $500?
Probably not. I'd probably wait. I don't think it's worth any more than that personally. I could go buy an ROG Ally or something, and it's a Windows. It's kind of like the Steam Deck. Like, I'd rather go buy something like that and save my money. But I don't know. I'd rather wait, especially since I'm on the fence about buying one at launch, because I think they might put out like a special edition Donkey Kong one. But also with all the tariff stuff and the supply and demand, maybe they won't come out with special editions right off the bat, so Donkey Kong might just get skipped entirely. But
Good
yeah,
point.
I don't know. It's tough. I do have FOMO, but it's not as bad as it was when the first Switch came out, where I was like, I have to have this day one. Like, I have a little more self-control that I could hold off and wait. I don't know if a handheld console with that much power is worth anything more than $500. So I don't have a hard time looking at it and discerning, like, is this worth my money? There's other really cool handhelds that I could buy for that much money that would do all kinds of cool things. So I think I have enough self-control that I wouldn't buy it day one regardless. Like, I would find a line. I don't know if it's 500. I don't know if it's 550. I don't know what it is, but it's probably around 500. I think anything under 500 would be worth it. But over that, I'd probably wait and see if things calm down.
We saw in our Discord chat an image of a Metroid Special Edition Switch 2, which very well could have been completely fake, but it was it was like the box, and it had like the custom art, and that's really like, whether it's upgrading a phone, like, or upgrading a console, like, the whole thing is, if I just wait a year, they're going to come out with the cool colors, or they're going to come out with the special edition console, they're going to come out with the Pro or Plus or whatever it's going to be. So it's like, do you want to be the early adopter, or do you want to do the off skew, like, more powerful or cooler version? That always like gets me. I've done it where I upgrade every step, and I used to do that when I had like more disposable income, but that's one of the reasons why I hesitate to jump out the gate. Like, I've told myself, if I don't get a pre-order, that's it. You wait a while. So I try for the pre-order. So that's kind of where I am right now. The FOMO has got me. So very interesting. It's good to get to know you. And this leads right into our reader mail segment. We don't do this often. I try to sneak it in when Adam is out. Reader mail. This message comes from Timmy from Little Big Falls, Minnesota. And he writes, I'm very excited that Donkey Kong is leading the launch lineup for Nintendo Switch 2. I can't believe it. Donkey Kong Bonanza looks amazing, but I'm super upset that they changed the look of Donkey Kong. The original Donkey Kong look is classic. How dare they change it? What do you guys think? Did they betray our boy Donkey Kong? I mean, he put in his work looking the way that he looked, old school, through all that stuff, all those games. And now that he's going to be headlining, a brand new generation, they switch him up to the Mario Kart movie-ish type look. What do you think, Clay?
I don't know. I mean, this isn't the first gaming character to get a fresh look, if you will. I know that it doesn't happen a ton in Nintendo properties, like Mario and stuff per se as much, but like if you think about like Sonic and some of these other characters, they've had moments like this where they refresh and try a new look. I don't know. I want to reserve all judgments until I've played the new game, but I do think, based off what I've seen from gameplay, from the treehouse, and from the trailers, I think this Donkey Kong is very expressive. I think they're doing a very good job at continuing to animate him and give him facial features and emotions that are over the top, very big, which is something that we've known about Donkey Kong from the very beginning. You think about Donkey Kong Country, the original, when he would see a boss, his eyes would like pop out of his head. So we've already kind of had this like over the top kind of zany character at times, and so this one doesn't feel much different to me. And so I think as long as they get his personality right, I think that the visuals of him, I think before long people will forget. Not forget what he used to look like, but forget that there was a big change here. And so, I don't know. For me personally, I'm not as upset if he looks a little bit different. I mean, Cranky looks the same so far. I'll be curious to see if we see any other Kongs like Diddy and Dixie. If they show up, I don't think they're going to look drastically different, but I don't mind them making a few changes just to try something different with Donkey Kong. And it wouldn't surprise me if a few years from now we start seeing some other Nintendo characters getting some revised looks from time to time. But hey, if you ask me, hey, you can either have a new Donkey Kong game or you can have Donkey Kong look the same that he looked before, I'm going to take the game. No questions asked. And so I'm here for it. And I think that they're going to do a good job with him. I think stay tuned, stay hopeful that, and maybe people will play the game and then go, I still can't handle the way he looks. And then, all right, it's not for you, move on. But I think the majority of us will be happy at the end with the end result. So I'm hopeful.
Timmy, I have a completely different answer. I feel the betrayal. I feel that it's deep. Like you mentioned it, Clay. This isn't done like very often at all. Like the Nintendo characters, their look is sacred. When they even made the changes in the Mario movie to Donkey Kong at the time, it was like, what are they doing? You do bring up a good point though, like that. Hey, there's some reasoning behind it. It's to make him more expressive. Like I'll buy that. That makes me feel a little bit better about it. It's like, well, it was time to give him some more range, in his eyes or whatever, however they're set, or how he's going to be able to express himself. So sure, fine. It makes me a little less upset about it. But Timmy, I'm with you. I had shared the disdain for change. I hate change, but change is getting us a brand new Donkey Kong, style game. Not brand new. I had said this way before. I was like, Donkey Kong 64 was cool. Like, why don't we have a game like that? I remember saying it out loud, and sure enough, they delivered. So it's going to be fresh. Now, do you know, because I had only heard like in passing, is it confirmed that the people who made Mario Odyssey worked on this game? The influences are obvious when you see the trip, but
it is the same development, internal development studio at Nintendo, but it's not confirmed who's specifically on that development team. And so there's great likelihood that there are people that worked on Odyssey that worked on this, yes, but it hasn't been like fully confirmed this person is this, and like we don't know exactly who is in that studio. But yeah, as far as I understand it, that was the studio that made Odyssey, as to the best of my knowledge. I could be wrong, but
the influences are there. I mean, and plus it's Nintendo. I mean, they know what worked in their own game. We never saw Odyssey 2 or DLC, any DLC for that, which is like super surprising. But now we have this, so I don't know. I'm very excited. There's no one you talk to walks away without mentioning Donkey Kong being like one of the reasons why they want the system. It's a huge selling point. Press start. We're going to talk about games now. Atomfall is a survival action game developed by Rebellion Developments, and it's available on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. The game is inspired by a real-life 1957 wind-scale nuclear disaster in northern England, presenting an alternate history where the incident leads to a dystopian reality. Players control an unnamed protagonist with amnesia, navigating a quarantined region filled with mutant creatures, cults, and rogue government entities. Clay, you played Atomfall. What did you think of it?
Yeah, so I'm not like super duper far into the game at this point, but I mean, based on how long it takes to beat this game, I should be further than I am. But this is one of those games where you can kind of take it at your own pace. It could be a little bit of a slower pace game, or you could progress a little bit quicker in it. But yeah, I think the the little synopsis you just gave was actually a really great synopsis. One of the things that intrigued me about it right off the bat is they did take some inspiration from a real life thing that happened in the real world. This 1957 wind scale nuclear disaster, which was not something that I was aware of in the slightest. Like, I'd never heard of it. I didn't know that was a thing. And so I went and looked it up and was reading up on it before I even played it, which I thought was kind of cool that you can go. I went on YouTube and I just searched, 1957 wind scale or whatever, and watched a big, long 20-minute video on it, just explaining all of it, just so I could understand a little bit of it before I went in, because I thought that was kind of neat that you could just learn about something and then open up the game. Obviously, this game takes a lot of liberties. I mean, we're talking about some mutant, people who are bad guys, creatures, I guess, that have mutated due to this fallout or whatever. And so they took some liberties, but it was neat just to read about it and understand it a little bit better. I'm sure people who are from the UK or surrounding areas probably know about this a lot more than people here in the States do. But this was a big deal back then, and it still is. I forget what year it is, but the amount of work that they're doing to try to clean up the nuclear waste and stuff in this area, they're not going to be done. I can't remember what the date is. It's like hundreds of years from now.
Holy shit.
They're going to be working to get this stuff cleaned up and all this stuff. So I don't know. It's weird taking a real life like disaster and then trying to make a video game about it. It's kind of interesting. Like, you don't hear obviously war games are like that, but something like this where I don't remember how many people necessarily died from it or were affected by it. But regardless of all that, this was a game that showed up on Game Pass, and one day I was bored and I was like, oh, this looks kind of neat. And I mentioned it to you and you're like, oh, that came out. So I was like, oh, well, Tony knows about it, so I'll check it out. So I downloaded it, played it on Xbox for a while. Quite a few. I put a number of hours in. Yeah, it's a challenging game. It's definitely a survival game. It's one of those games where you're maneuvering around in this big open area. It's a beautiful game. Looks really nice on my Series X. So beautiful game, fun to look at. But right off the bat, it is hard. It's a challenging game. They obviously have they have a number of different difficulties you can choose from, and so I think I just put it on the recommended kind of normal difficulty. But man, it started out really good, and then all of a sudden I'm at a point now where I'm just dying constantly running into bad guys who have tons of ammo. I have little to no ammo. I do have some melee weapons, but I'm like, where is all the ammo in this game? And so still trying to figure that out, trying to find the rhythm to this game. I'm not sure yet, but this might be one of those games where you just start off very underpowered in the beginning and you kind of navigate through the frustrations, but then as you progress through the game, hopefully your character gets better or you just find more ammo and weapons and you start beating dudes up. But kind of has a little bit of a Fallout feel at times, but not as whimsical and over the top. It's a little more down to earth, but it's still got some unique things. The villains in this game, the bad guys, they're still kind of dressed up unique and have weird kind of outfits on and stuff that really identify them. You have these big open areas that are dangerous and there's outlaws running around and you're trying to hide from people and fight people. And then you go into these more focused areas where there's a village with people and you can walk around and talk to people, and there's side quests, and there's not as much bad guys in that area. It's more of like a safe area. And so it's interesting. Like the scale of this game, it's a smaller scale game. If you go to, howlongtobeat.com, this game takes about 9.5 hours to beat the main storyline.
What?
Wow. You do a completionist run, you're about somewhere between 16 to 25 hours. So this is a shorter game, but it still feels like a bigger game. There's still a lot of exploring and finding different things. There's side quests, main quests, that kind of thing. But I like that. I like that about this game. I wish there were more games like this where it still feels like a big game, but it's a smaller scale. Probably didn't take as long to develop and was probably cheaper to make, but still looks and feels and plays like a big release game. And so I like that about this game, that It's not super daunting if you want to try to beat it from start to finish. I hopefully will get to see the credits on this game. I don't sometimes those bigger games that take 40 plus hours to beat, sometimes those are hard to get done when you're a guy at home with kids or with a family. And so
Yeah.
this might be something that a dad could beat and enjoy, without too much trouble. One thing I did want to bring up, it's interesting. This game doesn't just drop waypoints for you to just head off to. Um, they give you coordinates, and then you pull up a map and you kind of are given a vague coordinate area, and then you go to that area and there's like clues. And so it doesn't just say here's where you're going to go. You go to this one area with a coordinate, and that maybe would give you another clue on how to find where to go or whatever. And so it's really interesting. There's like multiple clues, and you can take different routes to try to find the objective. But at one point I was just so confused and I couldn't figure out the coordinates, which was really bumming me out because I really liked that aspect. But I was just like, I cannot figure out where it's trying to get me to go. And so I just watched a video, and the video is like, you go right here. And so as soon as I went there, then it's like, hey, you used your clues and you figured it out. It's like, no, I just watched a YouTube video and it showed me where to go. So it's like, It was a cool thing, but it didn't work for me, or I got like impatient with it. And I was like, I'm just going to go to where the YouTube video tells me to go. But it's kind of neat. Like, it's a little more open in that way, where it doesn't just show you, here's a little icon, follow the icon, and that's where you need to go. And so there's a little more creativity on trying to make you think a little more about where the objectives are. And so I thought that was kind of neat. And so that was one thing that I thought was pretty cool about it. But yeah, I mean, overall, I'm just still in the front half of the game, I guess you will say. And so still learning it. It's very British, which is pretty cool. That's one thing that's kind of unique to it. There's not a lot of games like this, like post-apocalyptic, if you will, that are set in Britain, in UK or whatever. And so I know a lot of people are excited about that. It feels Britain. The food is British. Obviously, the characters and the locales are very British. And so it's very unique and different. And so I like what they've gone for here. There's cool like mechs and stuff running around. And then there's these like weird mutated zombie things that you fight. And so there's just a lot of, it feels very familiar, but it's got some uniqueness to it at the same time. So it's a nice little mix of the two. And so far I really enjoyed it, and I think that it's got a lot to offer. And so it might be something worth checking out on Game Pass. I don't know how much it costs. Here it is on Steam. Let's see what Steam says. $50. Get the deluxe for 70. That might be a little high. I don't know if it's worth $50. 40 felt a little more right to me, but obviously this feels like a game that will probably get some DLC and maybe go on sale eventually. But if you got a Game Pass, I think it's a no-brainer to check out. But if you're from the UK, maybe you're even more interested in it. But I'm enjoying my time with it so far.
Spoiler alert, I did play a little bit of Atomfall myself. So I went in, I was curious, and, you and I are Fallout fans. We, followed the Fallout TV show and did a little podcast about that. And, being a fan of that and it having some inspirations, or at least looking like a, post-apocalyptic, like survival, like action RPG type thing, I bounced off pretty quick. Like, I couldn't keep going. Like, it was a little rough around the edges. When I started to loot around, I felt like there wasn't too much to loot. And same like I got a couple like good weapons early, or at least some like base weapons, I should say. And I couldn't find ammo for them. And even when I did shoot the bullets and then I used the melee weapons, nothing felt like super satisfying. I did find it very difficult to be like sneaking around and fighting even like 3 enemies at a time where you're like super overwhelmed. And I couldn't get very far in the initial stages of the game because every direction I went, I kind of got turned around, and all of a sudden I don't realize that I'm within like a couple feet of like a big group or two. And like I found myself just running into a group, getting killed. I tried going another way, and then again running into a group, getting killed. So it's interesting you brought up like the nature of like the developers saying that they had this there are no quests system like this. We're not going to hold your hand. Like the navigation's going to be very organic and, figuring out where to go. No quest markers are like done completely differently. It has that spin on it, and I didn't enjoy that really either. It's good in concept, but like you, I'm just like, I when you were like, oh, I YouTubed it, I'm like, I should have done that. I should have just like one of those, here's where you go and here's how to do the best start in this game, for the first like few levels would be a perfect type of video to watch for this. If you kind of want to do away with that and just kind of get going, it'll tell you like, go here first, avoid these groups of enemies. Like I really needed like a tips video. So it's okay. The visuals were decent. I think the standout thing for me was when NPCs are talking. Like, they're British. They're cool. There's something cool about them. They seem like more developed. The NPCs look decent, like the actual models and faces. And I thought that the dialogue was well done. They're speaking in like, I like a lot of times I'll skip dialogue in games, like especially if it just seems like it's not good writing or uninteresting or the pace isn't good. But this, I was listening and like kind of seeing the performance of NPCs when they were talking. So I really enjoyed that part of it quite a bit. Did you play Stalker when it came out? Stalker 2? Because this is another post-apocalyptic like RPG.
I did not.
It was like this. It was like rough around the edges. That one had a lot of bugs, and it was, their AI system was broken. To me, it was kind of brutal. I don't remember if I played on hard, but I was dying a lot in that one. And I think this all just goes to show how much I take Fallout for granted, because it's like I'm learning that it's just not easy to make a post-apocalyptic like survival RPG. It's like, how much crafting do you have in there, and items do you pick up in the world? Like, what's the combat balance? Can we make it feel good? The visuals of where you're exploring is cool. It's great to be in the British setting. I agree. England's cool. But yeah, it didn't seem for me. On OpenCritic, Atomfall is receiving a 75 top critic average. So decent, and a 70 player rating. So it looks like a decent game. So I'm glad that you were able to play it. I hope that you do finish it, because it would be great to see if they stick the landing, especially on a shorter game like that. So awesome. Yo, you know what that sound is? It is the Caboose, the part of the show where we give a recommendation outside of the world of video games. I'll start. We went to the casino, my wife and I, on a whim. We're just like, we had gone a couple weeks ago and like won some money, so we went back last night and won a lot. Like, we won like a couple hundred, so it was very fun. Yeah,
nice.
So for those who don't know, roulette, you spin a ball around a wheel and it's going to land on like one of like 38 different slots or something, 36. And if the ball lands on there, you get, like 36 times the money or 38. I don't know the whole math, but so you spin the ball and one number is going to win, and it could be odd or even. So you can bet on it being, a 50% chance of being odd this time, or the ball will fall on a red number or a black number, and again, 50% chance. So as we were betting, like, we spun the wheel and we were involved in like, I'd say like 20 rolls, and we won like over 15. Like it was almost like we almost only didn't hit like just 2-3 times the whole time we were there. It was great and very fun. So I can't suggest go to the casino. I guess I shouldn't make it a Caboose. It's like, you shouldn't suggest like addictive things to people in general, but it was fun. We had a great time, and get out there, spend a little money. If it is on a little, on the ponies or on, dog racing or whatever you're doing, then, Lord bless you. What's your recommendation?
Yeah, so for me, like a lot of people, I went and saw the Minecraft movie. What was it, last weekend? I think it was last Friday, when it came out. Thankfully, I went opening night, and so the whole cool guy TikTok trend of going and freaking out at a certain part in the movie, throwing popcorn and screaming, that wasn't a thing yet by that point, and so I didn't have to deal with young kids being ridiculous and me feeling like an old man for being annoyed by it. But yeah, me and my wife and a buddy of mine who we play Minecraft together, we all went together and hung out and watched the movie, and it was fun. We had a good time. It's not a a cinematic masterpiece, if you will, but it's a decent video game movie. It's kind of one of those kind of like a movie like the Lego movie or the Barbie movie, where it's like they have this property that people go crazy over, but they don't really know what to do with it to make it a movie. And so for whatever reason, they feel like they have to like bring it into the real world or vice versa.
I
Bring
hate
the real
that.
world.
Damn.
Yeah. And so it's like the whole like idea of it is just a little like basic and like tropish, but it's fun. If you like Minecraft, it's enjoyable. Even if you don't, you can still enjoy it. The actors are crazy, and some of the characters are unnecessary and just like, why are they even here? But I mean, we've known that they've been trying to make this movie for like over 10 years, and so it's like it's something crazy like that. Years that they've been working on trying to put this movie out. So the fact that it actually ever happened is pretty awesome, and it's pretty wild to see people freaking out over it. And critics hate it, but fans love it, and I think people are just stoked to have a Minecraft movie in general. And so I think it'll make tons of money, and they'll probably make more of them. But it's enjoyable enough that it's not the worst thing in the world. There's certain parts where you're like, okay, like Jack Black is just way over the top, just way overselling it, but it works, and kids are gonna love it. So it was fun. We had a good time. I don't know if I'd go back and see it anytime soon, but I love Minecraft. I've been with it since the very beginning. I went to the very first Minecraft convention in Vegas, so like I'm a relative to severe like Minecraft nerd, but it was fun. We had a good time, and hopefully all the hustle and bustle is dying down on it enough. If you haven't got a chance to go see it, it might be worth taking your kids to go see. I think it's an enjoyable little movie. So yeah.
Quote here, box office, a Minecraft movie strikes gold with record-shattering 163 million US launch, 313 million globally. It's doing really well. These numbers are shooting up. Like, this is like from right when it came out, but it's racking up. Long story short, people are seeing it. So, I mean, Minecraft is huge. It's one of the most popular games in the world, maybe in history. So it's great. I would have liked people to come out of Minecraft and say, like, kind of like Sonic, where like, hey, it was surprisingly good, actually. Like, it's watchable. It's like a decent movie and all that. I kind of was wanting that to reach that level, but it's fine. And I'm glad that you were able to see it and enjoy it with so many people around the world. That's going to do it today for another episode of Mega Dads Live. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you for listening. As we release each show, just know we're putting our love and care into it just for you. So thank you. Join our Discord. You can find a link to it in the description of the show. And if you go to youtube.com/megadads, our YouTube channel, all the descriptions have a link to the Discord. We chat in there. We have fun. We support each other through the thick and the thin. So please join us. Thank you very much. Clay, thank you for being here. You did great.
No
all right,
problem,
we'll
man.
see you next time, everybody.